Picture yourself standing at the center of a peaceful Shaolin temple. The ancient stone walls are covered with the soft glow of morning light. The air is filled with the subtle fragrance of incense, and there's a calmness in the atmosphere that soothes the soul. Yet despite this peace, your mind feels anything but calm. You struggle to remember the simplest things. You misplace your keys, forget a name mid-conversation, or even lose track of important moments from your past. And as you wrestle with this forgetfulness, a question lingers. Why can't I remember? Is it just forgetfulness, or is there something deeper, more sinister at play? In the age of endless distractions, could your memory be slipping away, not just because of neglect, but because your mind is being manipulated? What if the loss of your memories is being orchestrated by forces you don't even realize are controlling you? The truth is chilling, but hope is not lost. Through the teachings of the Buddha and the wisdom of ancient Shaolin monks, you can learn to break free from these invisible chains and reclaim control over your mind and your memory. In today's world, our minds are constantly under attack. We live in an era of information overload where the constant buzzing of notifications, social media updates, and digital distractions never seem to stop. Every day we are bombarded with messages, advertisements, and news flashes, pulling our attention in 100 different directions. Is it any wonder that we find it harder and harder to focus, let alone remember important things? But this issue isn't just a modern one. The struggle to control the mind has existed for centuries. Monks in the ancient Shaolin temples faced this same battle against the forces that cloud the mind and weaken memory. Their solution wasn't to rely on technology or external tools, but to turn inward and master the mind through the teachings of the Buddha. Today you will hear the story of a young monk named Tao, who, much like you, struggled to control his memory and his thoughts. His journey to discover the truth behind his forgetfulness and ultimately regain control over his mind will shed light on the real reason you might be struggling to remember, and more importantly, how you can free yourself from this manipulation. In a quiet Shaolin monastery tucked away in the mountains, Tao was a young monk who had always been passionate about his training. He devoted himself to the ancient teachings, spending long hours meditating, practicing martial arts, and studying Buddhist texts. Yet, despite his dedication, Tao found himself struggling in one crucial area: his mind. Tao's memory was failing him. He would forget teachings from his masters, lose track of his thoughts in meditation, and even struggle to recall simple tasks or names of his fellow monks. At first he thought it was simply a lack of focus or discipline, but as time went on, the problem worsened. No matter how hard he tried, Tao couldn't control the chaos in his mind. He felt like a prisoner in his own head, lost in a maze of distractions. One day, after yet another failed meditation session, Tao decided to seek help from the temple's elder monk, Master Lei. Master Lei was known for his deep wisdom and calm demeanor. He had guided countless monks to enlightenment, and Tao hoped he could offer a solution. "Master Lei," Tao said as he approached the elder monk, "I'm troubled. No matter how hard I try, I cannot focus. My mind feels clouded, and I can't seem to remember anything. What's wrong with me?" The old monk smiled gently and motioned for Tao to sit beside him. "Your mind is not broken, young one," Master Lei said softly, "but it is clouded. You are not losing your memory, you are losing your clarity." Master Lei led Tao to a quiet garden within the temple grounds. In the center of the garden was a small pond, its surface perfectly still, reflecting the sky like a mirror. Master Lei pointed to the water and said, "Look into the pond, Tao. What do you see?" Tao knelt beside the pond and gazed at the water. "I see myself, Master," he replied. Master Lei then picked up a small pebble and dropped it into the pond. The water rippled, distorting Tao's reflection. "And now what do you see?" the master asked. My reflection is broken, Tao said, watching as the ripples spread across the surface. Master Lei nodded. This is your mind, Tao. When it is calm and still, it reflects the truth clearly. But when distractions and thoughts ripple through it, your mind becomes clouded. This is why you cannot remember. Your mind is not at peace. Tao looked at the master, puzzled. But master, I live a simple life here, in the temple. I meditate, I practice, and I avoid distractions. What is it that disturbs my mind? Master Lei smiled knowingly. Ah, young Tao, even here in the temple, the mind is vulnerable to many subtle forms of distraction. The world outside, the endless noise, the desires, the attachments, they do not just live outside the temple walls, they live within us. Every thought, every worry, every attachment is like a pebble dropped into the pool of your mind. These distractions, though seemingly small, create ripples that disturb your clarity. As Tao reflected on the master's words, he began to realize that the distractions in his mind were not always obvious. They weren't just the noises of the outside world, but subtle forces, desires, worries, and attachments that clouded his thoughts. Master Lei continued, there is a sinister truth that few realize. In today's world, your mind is constantly being manipulated. The distractions that disturb your memory are not random. They are designed. The media, the advertisements, the constant flow of information, and even the technologies we use are all engineered to pull your attention away from the present moment. They cloud your mind and prevent you from seeing clearly. Tao was stunned. But master, why would anyone want to manipulate my mind? The old monk's eyes darkened with understanding. Because a distracted mind is a weak mind, Tao. When your mind is constantly filled with noise, you lose the ability to think for yourself, to remember what is important, and to live with intention. The world wants to control your thoughts, your actions, and even your memories. But through mindfulness and the teachings of the Buddha, you can take back control. Master Lei then began to teach Tao the ancient wisdom of the Buddha. The Buddha taught that the root of suffering is attachment. We suffer not because of the things outside of us, but because of our attachment to them, our desires, our fears, our thoughts. The more attached we are, the more ripples we create in the mind. Tao listened carefully as Master Lei continued. To clear your mind and strengthen your memory, you must learn to let go of attachment. You must practice mindfulness, being fully present in the moment without holding on to your thoughts. When you release your attachment to your thoughts, your mind becomes still like the surface of the pond. Over the next several weeks, Tao practiced mindfulness and meditation under Master Lei's guidance. At first, it was difficult. His mind was restless, filled with distractions and ripples, but with time and patience, Tao began to notice a change. His thoughts slowed, his memory sharpened, and the noise in his mind began to quiet. Each day, Tao would sit in the garden watching the pond and meditating on the stillness of his mind. He learned to observe his thoughts without attachment, letting them come and go like clouds in the sky. Slowly, the ripples in his mind faded and his clarity returned. Months passed, and Tao's transformation became evident. One morning, as Tao sat by the pond, he opened his eyes after meditation and gazed into the still water. His reflection was clear, undisturbed by any ripples. He smiled, feeling a deep sense of peace. Master Lei approached and stood beside him. "What do you see now, Tao?" the old monk asked. Tao looked at his reflection and replied, "I see myself clearly. There are no more ripples." Master Lei nodded approvingly. "And how do you feel?" "I feel free, Master," Tao said with a peaceful smile. "My mind is no longer burdened by distractions. My memory is sharp and my thoughts are clear." Master Lei's eyes shone with warmth. "You have learned the most important lesson, Tao. The key to mastering your mind is not in controlling the world around you, but in controlling your response to it. The world will always try to manipulate your thoughts, but you have the power to choose where your attention goes. The Buddha's teachings remind us that by letting go of attachment, we can find clarity, peace, and strength in our minds. Tao's journey reflects the struggle we all face in today's world. We live in an age of constant distractions. Our minds are bombarded by information, media, and noise that pull us away from the present moment. It's easy to feel like our memories are slipping away, our thoughts scattered, and our focus lost. But the truth is, your mind is not broken. It is simply clouded by distractions. And while these distractions may seem harmless, they are often designed to manipulate your attention, weaken your focus, and control your thoughts. Through the wisdom of the Buddha and the ancient teachings of the Shaolin monks, you too can reclaim control of your mind. By practicing mindfulness and letting go of attachments, you can still the ripples in your mind, sharpen your memory, and see the world and yourself with clarity once again. The question now is, will you choose to free your mind from these distractions, or will you let the world control your thoughts? The choice is yours.